What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's Wild Wednesday, bringing to you conversations around intimacy, the word fuck, and you living in a body you trust. Many people have asked me, what is the feminine? And I am so stoked to answer that, and I'm going to answer that by adding the counterpart, the masculine. As for so long, we have been operating with valuing only one of these energetic qualities, as in a larger frame and model of understanding, we use these two energies to operate in life. And I call these two energies together life force. Life being the feminine and force being the masculine. Life force. You can also interchange these words of feminine and masculine because they are not gender oriented, as everything that is living has these two poles of energy, yin as feminine and yang as masculine. You can also think of yin, feminine, as the moon, and yang, masculine, as the sun. There are so many interplays with this between left brain, right brain, another frame of understanding, and mind and body, masculine, feminine. The sky is the masculine, the earth is the feminine, life force. So there's all these interplays of understanding this dance, this push and pull, this give and receive that is constantly happening in this ever-changing dance of life. For order, we need to know what disorder is. For us to know light, we have to know the dark. How do we get comfortable with this dance of knowing ourselves as the feminine and the masculine? So the feminine is this void, it's this unknown space. It's the unpredictable, as it is a space of infinite possibility. Because the masculine, the penetrative force, comes through the emptiness of the feminine, that spaciousness that can hold such a space of potential and unknown. And so many of us are terrified of this unknown space. We will control our lives and make sure that we do the strategy of A to B to get the result of C, and not let disorder, chaos, the unpredictable actually come into a formula, because we are so formula oriented. And I think that this is the challenge that a lot of us are facing, is having a devalued framework of understanding around the feminine, or we're not used to having it in our man-made systems, which, you know, there's nothing, again, wrong with these man-made systems, but like what happens when we actually bring in the life systems, the ecosystems, the regenerative systems, which I believe is the quality of the feminine. So how do we have this life and this force playing with each other? Because force as the masculine, actually, without life, there's force over life rather than having force for life. And I feel like we've been using the masculine, having a force over the feminine, rather than using the masculine penetrative force with respect and appreciation for what the feminine does. So it's about putting right relationship back within ourselves individually to connect to the feminine. The feminine is also, you know, a representation of the earth, Mother Earth, her. And our bodies are an animated extension of the earth's intelligence, her. So how are we treating our body, the planet's body, that her, that feminine inside all of us? The feminine is the emotions. It is the muse. It is our intuition. It's the vulnerability. It is our capacity to hold emotion in our body without feeling contracted, but actually being with it and feeling the dance, and not actually contracting or, you know, suppressing the emotions that come up. But can we value emotion and let it be there and not grip onto it for it to alchemize, for it to change into something else? To give you an example of that, when my things got stolen last year at Burning Man, everything got stolen off my bike. And I saw that moment, and I just started laughing when I saw that all my bags were gone, because I felt that I had a choice in that moment. I had a choice that that could be the worst thing that could happen in my life in that moment, or that it was the greatest gift that has happened. Who am I to say? Who am I to make that decision in that moment that this is the worst thing that could happen? when the other option is this is the best thing that could happen. And of course, there's so many other options to look at as well. But to think about how we collapse ourselves in the infinite possibility of space. Like, if I don't decide what it is in that moment and I allow the moment to expand and extend to something from that emptiness and let what actually wants to happen arise in the space, that is me allowing the emotional capacity, the emotional potential of the feminine to stay open. To stay open for something to authentically emerge. Not from my fear, not from my like, oh shit, what do I do now? Not that I need to control the experience that's happening, but can I actually be in the surrender and trust life enough that it is going to show itself without me interfering? So that is an example of not interfering with the feminine space, the unpredictable state of a present moment, and not gripping onto any story of the present, because the present moment is just a small piece of a larger ripple that's taking place. So how do we be with this feminine inside of ourselves? I say start dancing. Start getting comfortable to the unpredictable, the unplanned space, to start giving value to it, to start respecting it. How do we respect life outside us? To respect the life inside us. And life is nothing but spontaneity. So if we can't find groundedness in spontaneity, then we are going to live quite contracted, quite unhappy, because we have so many expectations on how life should look, should be, that we are forgetting to actually touch life, to meet life, to be present for life, and accept everything that shows up. Because that is the practice, to accept life as it is, knowing that it will change every single moment, and accepting that and loving that and being in that dance, being in the dance of chaos and disorder to finding form and order. That is the dance, that's how it goes. So I invite you to find this value inside yourself with the feminine. It is so challenging to interpret, as these words are energy. So how do we fully articulate an energy that is this dance of the masculine and feminine, of life and force, yin and yang? So that is what I have to offer to you today. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's Wild Wednesday. Please come back for more around intimacy, this word fuck, and living in a body that you trust. All my love.